What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. It's show one, Papa Dude, at your new house. You were moved in. Looks like still a little scattered, but that's all right. How's it going?
It's going good. This is our second full day here. The first day didn't count because we didn't get over here till late in the day. So we had a day to kind of. I still had those pods out in the front yesterday. It took me till noon to unload those. So this is really our first full day that we can really get after it. So there's stuff everywhere. As anyone who's moved knows how that is. So a little bit at a time. We don't have to do this all at once.
Yeah, it's just good that you're in a house and you don't have to worry about the influx of where am I going to be tonight. So
I know, and it's really a beautiful home. We love it over here. Wish we'd have moved a long time ago. So everything's cool.
Yeah, Shotty chiming in, say glad you aren't homeless anymore. Yes, and it is podcast day. I'll give you an update on when all those podcasts are going to happen here at the end of the show. But let's get to our show. Let's get this one out of the way first here to kick you off and lead off the day. We're going to be a little bit everywhere. We got football, we got baseball, we do have horse racing as well. So let's get right to it. Let's do the Thursday night football game first because I think that's the major event of the night. The Lions are at the Packers tonight. Lions are 2-point favorites at Green Bay. It's kind of been an up and down situation, right? I mean, it's for these two teams. The Packers at times haven't looked good, at times have looked good within each game they've played, not even just game to game. A huge comeback win from them. Saints blow it. Lions, they rebounded with a nice win. Now, can they go to Green Bay and win tonight? That's the question.
Yeah, this is really a good game. Super game. I'm going to turn this. That light's bothering me. Is that bothering you?
There you go. The new house. Got to get the feel.
Yeah, we got to get the kinks worked out here, and that's going to be a real problem. All right, so I don't like that bunch better, but anyway, we'll get this straightened out. First of all, Shotty, we got to meet, or I did, on Sunday. We'll talk about that a lot more on our show and our day at Remington. It was fantastic. So back to this game. The Lions and the Packers, this is huge, a huge game tonight for this division because the Lions are wanting to assert their dominance. They want to be the new team in that conference with Minnesota already at 0-3. The Bears are the worst team in the league probably. So they got to win this game, I think. I really do. You know, great comeback for Green Bay. You can't take anything away from him, but Derek Carr got hurt in that game with New Orleans. And New Orleans had the game total control and lost their quarterback. But still, Green Bay had to overcome a 17-0 deficit, and they did, which really has got to give the new quarterback some confidence. I think it's going to be a good one tonight. I'm going to go with the Lions to win it. I think they're going to get them.
Yeah, I think the Lions are the team to beat here. I think they're a little bit better than Green Bay. The biggest problem is, can the Lions actually go to Green Bay, win a big game? It's Thursday night. I'm not sure. The good news is they did go to Kansas City and win. The bad news is that was a pretty lucky win. They probably shouldn't have won that game. But the good news, again, for the Lions, the Packers are not the Chiefs. So I'm with you. I'm going to take the Lions. It's kind of weird to say we're going to take the Lions in Green Bay. Yeah. Might be a situation where we go, gosh, why did we do that tomorrow? But I'm kind of with you. I'm going to take the Lions tonight.
They have won 3 of the last 4 against Green Bay.
I know, but still it's
I know. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I am really hesitant. I was, it was 1 point, and then it went to 2, which I don't think makes much difference. But I was going to use it as the best bet, and I thought, no, it's the Lions. Just can't do it.
Bree says better lucky than good. I love that. I agree. Yeah. I always would rather be lucky than good. But know what I've learned over the years. The better you are, the more lucky you are as well.
Well, you make your own luck. That's what I've always heard. So,
and look, they did do some nice things in that Kansas City game. I kind of grazed over that, but they did. Yeah. They played well. They were still lucky to win, though. So, all right, let's get to the 2 baseball games. There are 2 big ones today. National League wildcard race coming down to the last 3 or 4 games of the season. The 2 teams are tied for it, the Marlins and the Cubs. We're going to talk about both their games. Let's start with the Marlins. The Marlins are at the Mets. They split a doubleheader yesterday. They're back here to finish up this series in New York. Marlins minus 135 in this game. Total sitting at 7.5. Papa Dude, do the Marlins get a huge win tonight?
Well, I like the Marlins' chances better than I do the Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about a Cubs team, a team that's just blown it. Now, they were pretty comfortable 2 weeks ago. The Cubs were to make the playoffs. In fact, about 3 weeks ago, they were knocking on the door to win the division.
Yeah,
and they've fallen apart. They played some pretty good teams. They've blown some games. It's really hurt them. They could have easily won the first 2 in Atlanta, and they have. They had a big lead on Monday. I don't even know what day it is, Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. And then last night lost some extra innings. Mm-hmm. I like the Marlins a lot today. They're playing much better than the Cubs. The Mets have absolutely nothing to play for. Give me the Marlins to win this one tonight.
Yeah, Marlins have Luzardo on the mound. I'm a fan of Jesus Luzardo. I like to watch him pitch. I may be the only person that likes to watch the Marlins, but I love to watch them. I just think they've got a good young team. Mm-hmm. I think they go in there and win, they go to New York tonight and win. Peterson on the mound for the Mets. I mean, It's been fascinating, though, these games where one team has a lot on the line and that the other team doesn't have anything to play for. They haven't really gone exactly like you would think, right? I mean, we've seen it a lot. Teams like the Pirates have pulled upsetters, and the Mets a time or two.
They're one of those pesky teams, the Pirates are, kind of like the Tigers over in the American League. Mm-hmm. You know, really have had a pretty good season. They're close to, 500. They're not really, but they're not bad. They're making improvements, so I'm trying to say. And the Marlins and the Reds are very similar. There's only one difference. The Marlins have pitching, and the Reds don't.
The Reds pitching finally got the better of them. They look like they're about out of this thing.
Well, Ashcraft going down really killed the Reds.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about the Reds, the Marlins, and the Diamondbacks, they're very similar, all three. But the Diamondbacks have 2 pitchers they can throw out there, and they got a pretty good feeling they're going to get a good performance out of them. And they got another one that is usually pretty good. Same with the Marlins. You got a couple of really nice ones. You got a couple other ones that are solid. The Reds don't have that. When Abbott went to hell for the Reds, and Ashcraft got hurt at that as well. They got nothing. And so every night it's a circus out there. And
Hunter Green didn't come back from the injury.
No, Hunter Green did not come back. He had one game where he was okay, and then that was it. So it is what it is. All right, let's go to the Cubs Braves real quick. Right. We're both going Marlins in that Marlins Met games. So the Cubs are underdogs tonight. They've lost 2 in a row in horrific fashion. You mentioned the one on Tuesday night. They blew a huge lead. They dropped a ball out in center field. I mean, just brutal loss. Last night, they had another lead. They blew it. They took the lead again. They blew it. They lost in extra innings. Tonight, Stroman back for his second start since coming back from the injury. In the first game, they pitched against the Rockies. He went 3 innings, looked really solid, and the Cubs won. We got to get Stroman more innings today, I would think. This is risky, right? To have Stroman in a game like this. Really good pitcher. Hopefully he's healthy enough. They're in Atlanta. What do you think is going to happen tonight in this one?
I almost took the Cubs because the Braves are not starting anybody today to speak of. They've clinched everything. You'd think they're just going to try to get as healthy as they can for the playoffs. I think they're going to rest some people today. I think the Cubs are going to win tonight if they can get over what's happened to them. But, you can't bet against Atlanta. I don't care what it is, especially at home. They're just one of those teams that just wins. They really do. If I had to bet, though, I'd take the Cubs tonight. They got everything to play for. Of course, they're choking it away.
Yeah.
But Atlanta, I have a feeling it's going to take it easy these last 4 games.
I mean, this is such a huge game because if they go down to the last 3 games of the season and they're now down a game, say Miami wins and the Cubs lose, boy, you're up against it. You can also, if the Marlins and the Cubs both win, you can kind of put away the Reds. They'd be down 2 games with 3 to go. Probably not going to get in. I think at the Reds, their only chance to get in are both these teams lose tonight. I don't see it happen. This is a huge game. The Cubs have really blown it. They really have. They've been right there. They were in the driver's seat. They lost 2 out of 3 to Pittsburgh. They got swept against the Diamondbacks. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies. They did come back and beat the Rockies 3 straight, and now they got a chance to lose 3 straight to a Braves team that they've had beat 2 games in a row. I think this is a pivotal game. I think if they win, They're going to go into those last 3 games with a chance. If they lose, I don't think they're coming back.
Who do they have, Aaron? Do you know offhand who?
Yeah, let me pull up the remaining schedule here before we go on. They go to Milwaukee, so they are at Milwaukee.
Oh, it's going to be tough. But Milwaukee's in the same boat Atlanta is.
Yes.
They've got it clinched. They're going to try to get everybody healthy.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs. And who does Miami have?
And that's the other key. The Marlins go to Pittsburgh.
So they've got the advantage. Cubs have got to, if the Marlins win tonight and the Cubs lose, first of all, it's out of your control for the Cubs. You don't control your destiny.
Right. Yep.
And Miami and Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh's they're a tough team.
Yep.
But still,
yep.
You got to go. You got to win this game tonight.
And you've got the Reds are in St. Louis. So, if the Reds are a game out of it, they go to St. Louis, perhaps they could maybe make a run and get into it. But what I'm trying to say is the Cubs are in the worst situation as far as who they have to play.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. So, but like I said, who knows about, how motivated they will be. All right, let's get to racing now. That's enough baseball for today. We'll kind of keep you updated throughout the shows on what's going on with the baseball as we get into the last game of the season on Sunday. All right, Churchill Downs race 7. That's where we're going race of the day today. It's an interesting race. Field of only 6, but kind of seems like a wide open one here. An allowance race going a mile and a 16th. How about this purse? $148,000 for allowance company at Churchill Downs in late September. That's incredible. Also incredible they can only get 6 horses to run in it. All right, Papa Dude, where are you going in this one?
Well, a lot of times we have these races that are toss-ups, and we're trying to pick between crummy horses. Yeah. These are pretty solid horses. We're trying to pick a winner today, and it's just as hard doing that as well. Mm-hmm. I got 4 of them written down. I really like 3. I like the number 3 horse, Injunction. Last time ran 3rd, first time off a long layoff, probably ready to go today. Then you got the 6 horse, who has been. This will be his first start of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I wrote down. Mm-hmm. Had a great year last year.
Yep.
So is Twilight Blue ready to come back, or does he need? Are these fillies?
Mares or horses? They're colts, geldings, whatever.
Oh, okay. They're males. Mm-hmm. All right. Is Twilight Blue ready? Is he ready after that long layoff? And then I really like the 5 Dash Attack as well, who won an allowance and then has been in stakes races, finished 3rd, but they were bad 3rds. I got beat by 15 lengths, I think, in one of them. And then he was in a grade 2 last time out, which is a good race, lost by 6. Mm-hmm. So those are the 3 I like. So I'm going to go with the 3 Injunction, thinking had the race after a layoff ready to go in this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if Twilight Blue isn't right there at the end.
Good analysis, but pick again. The 3 Injunctions
was scratched
from the race.
Well, I'll go with Twilight Blue then, with Dash Attack right behind him.
I think with the 3 out of the race, the 6 does become the controlling speed in the race. So I do like the 6 Twilight Blue a little bit here as well. I had the 3 Injunction on top as well. So we'll definitely, once the show's over, have to adjust for scratches as those just came out about 5 minutes ago. I'll take Dash Attack on top though. I want to see Twilight Blue, the thing about it, 411 days since we've seen Twilight Blue. That's a long time.
Got to have an injury.
Yeah, I'm sure he has some problems. But still could go back, has the pace advantage with the 5 Dash Attack dropping out of a couple tougher races. Faced next 2 races back at Saratoga. Last time out, Charlestown Classic. Got 3rd in both those races. Not very close 3rds, though. But you look at the race 3 back at Ellis Park, an allowance. Dash Attack was able to win. I think Dash Attack probably, I just think he's probably the best of what's left in this group, unless Twilight Blue is really ready to run. So I'm going to go 5 on top in this one. I do like the 6 in second. So not anything, real creative in this spot. I thought the 4, if you wanted to play a price, was kind of interesting. I think this horse getting back to the dirt is the right move. They tried the turf 3 straight times. Just wasn't very good. I think you look at the dirt races, the 4's got a kind of a shot. So I'm going to take the 4 in 3rd. That's kind of your long shot there. if you want to go with a little bit of a price. All right, let's stick with the Churchill Downs theme and just go on to my best bet, because it is a horse racing bet, and it is the very next race on this card here at Churchill. And as I look, it's off the turf and this horse is scratched. Great. Well, that's not great at all.
That is not good. No.
So the scratches were not out before we got on the air. They came out right when we got on the air. Now, the good news is this is like 4 or 5 o'clock, I think, before they run today. So there's time to change all this. But yeah, that's not good. Well, I don't really have one. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to search for one now. Go ahead.
Why don't you just post it later? I mean, it's hard to get one at this. You're just grasping unless you got something in mind.
The biggest issue I had today was the fact that I couldn't find anything, because Belmont, everything's off the turf, and usually I go, okay, I really like some main track only entries, but there's not, like, they're 2 to 5. All the main track entries are going to be 2 to 5 today. And so I was like, all right, well, I'll go to Churchill, and I found one. I really like that horse. And then now, like I said, right, we were on the air when these came out. So you go, and I will search for one. But give us your best bet today.
All right, I'm going to college football tonight. Jacksonville State goes into Sam Houston State, and Sam Houston State's first year in Division I, and Jacksonville State, I believe I think their first year as well. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference, though. Jacksonville State is a little bit ahead of Sam Houston State at this time. Sam Houston State has scored 10 points in 3 games. That's right, 10 points in 3 games. Jacksonville State's not exactly a juggernaut on offense. I think they've scored 100, but they scored 49 against East Tennessee State, which is a 1AA team, FCS, whatever it is. So I think this under is in play tonight. I do, because Jacksonville State's defense is really good. And so I think they can hold Sam Houston to 7 or so. I don't know if Jacksonville State can score more than 25 or 26. So I like the under 37 in this college football game tonight. I almost took Jacksonville State to win. They're 6.5 point favorites. I almost took them to cover that. I think they will. But it's in Sam Houston, and Sam Houston plays pretty well defensively. So I'm going to go under 37, Jacksonville State and Sam Houston tonight.
I like this. You can look at the scores of what these two teams have done. This might be a 3-3 game going into the fourth quarter. I mean, they definitely I think Jacksonville State's pretty decent. Sam Houston State, I mean, for right now at this level, not. So, yeah, I like this. 37, not a lot of points, but this is –
no, it's not.
For people that maybe aren't following the smaller schools, think Iowa State. That's what this game should look like tonight, right? Yeah.
If you're having trouble finding something, throw Magic's up there. I can.
Yeah, talk about Magic's best bet. We'll go to that one next, and you almost use this one.
I almost use this one tonight.
Yeah, Magic's going Tulsa minus 3.5 tonight.
Yeah, Magic is taking Tulsa minus 3.5 tonight against Temple. The game is in Oklahoma. Both teams are very similar in their records. They're 2-2. They've beat 2 nobodies and lost to 2 pretty good teams. The difference is Tulsa's 2 teams they've played are a hell of a lot better than who Temple has been beaten by. Temple's lost to Rutgers and Miami. Miami's okay. Tulsa's lost to arguably the best team in a very tough Pac-12, Washington, when they had to go on the road. And then Oklahoma came up and beat them in what was a home game for Oklahoma at Tulsa. So they've lost to 2 really good teams. They bounced back last week and beat Northern Illinois. That's not a big deal, but it is if you're Tulsa. They're at home. They're going to have a little bit of spotlight on them tonight. They usually play well at home. I like Kevin Wilson, their head coach, a lot. I think he'll scheme enough to where they can score enough points and beat Temple. So I like Magic's pick a lot. I almost took him.
I thought this was a good one too. He was asking me about it because he capped it without asking, and he said, "What do you think about this one?" I think it's pretty good. I think the thing about it with this Tulsa team is, like you said, they've been playing a lot better opponents. Now, that being said, I don't think they're that good, to be honest. But
Tulsa? No, they're not. But it's Temple.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't be shocked either way. I'll stick with that. How about I think Tulsa's the better team, but I really wouldn't be shocked either way on this one. So, but I think it's a good pick. I mean, that's the side I'm on as well. So.
Yeah, while you're scrambling there, Rodney mentioned if Rising doesn't play for Utah against Oregon State, the Utes could go down tomorrow night. I'm sure we'll cover that more.
Yep.
That could happen. Hey, Pedlo, how you doing, buddy?
All right, let's do mine. I got one here. Okay. This is now on the fly. I'm not happy that this has happened like this, but we'll go to this one. Let's go to Presque Isle Downs, race 1. I'm going to go number 2, no tapping out for my bet here in this one. We've only seen this horse once. It was at Turfway Park. This horse was second, only beaten a length and a half. And that was 250 days ago. That's the problem. But you look at Maury off layoffs of this caliber, 36%. So that's pretty solid, 64% in the money. So that tells me this horse will show up and run a pretty good race today. Antonio Gallardo gets the mount. He's hitting at 20% this year, and he's hitting 50% when he teams up with Maury. So no tapping out for me. First race at Presque Isle here. Just on the fly, trying to pull something together after my horse scratched live on the air. 9-5 on the morning line. The 6 is the favorite coming from Delaware. That horse is 7-5 for Arnold Delacour. So I think the 2 gets a decent enough price. So give me the 2, no tapping out in the first at Presque Isle. How about that, Papa Dude?
Well, I'm coming up with a new rule for this show only today.
Okay.
This only counts if you win it. This is not going to count against our record because you didn't have time to concentrate. You did in 5 minutes find one, which is really good, but it may not be that good. So we're not going to count this one. I make the rules on this one today.
Okay, well, hopefully we're not going to have to worry about it.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. By the way, Pedlo, watch at noon today if you can, because we're going to talk about our trip to Remington.
We're going to recap the Remington trip today and recap the Oklahoma Derby. It was a great Oklahoma Derby. So now let me pull up the graphic, as I had to change that on the fly as well. Listen, they don't pay me enough to do what I'm having to do today.
This is a mess
right now. All right, let's see.
This is a mulligan, Tony.
This is the beauty of horse racing with scratches. All right. Let's pull it up. Okay, let me get that off there. This is throwing us all off. So the picks for today, first of all, we had a pretty good week last week. Hopefully we can get it going this week with my great bet here. I'm going to Presque Isle Downs, race 1 on the card, number 2, no tapping out. That'll be at 2:00 Central post time if you want to follow along with this one. We'll also go Tulsa -3.5 for Magic. And then Papa Dude's going Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State under 37. Like I said, pretty good week last week, up to 190 for the year so far, year to date. Still pretty solid there. Papa Dude, any final thoughts before I run down what's going to be happening today?
Just one. If you get this right, you're going to start doing this every day, just like this.
I've been ignoring the chat. Sorry if I missed something. I've been scrambling, trying to write and change graphics and pick something.
No, you've done well.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we might be on blinkers off when that horse runs. So we'll see how no tapping out does. All right. So here's what's happening. Coming up 37 minutes, Papa Dude and I will be there for the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. We'll be talking college. We'll be talking NFL, obviously, and we'll also talk about Remington Park and all the things that happened there. We'll also talk about Husker Butch. He had a big win, and I'll reveal the next race plans for Husker Butch live at noon. So you got to tune in noon Central, where I reveal where Husker Butch will be running next. So we got that to look forward to. Blinkers Off coming up at 2:00 today. That'll be a good show. There's 100 stakes races. Seemingly, we're going to do a bunch of prep races for the Breeders' Cup. So that'll be a lot of fun as well at 2:00 Central. And then at 4:00 Central, this is a special one. Make sure you tune into this one. Magic Mike Show number 500. That's right. The 500th Magic Mike coming up at 4:00. So it's a busy, busy day. It always is on Thursday. This one better than most. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here because I got to go eat lunch and be ready for the next show. Hopefully no tapping out gets it done. Hopefully these other 2 bets get it done as well. And we'll see you right back here in about 35 minutes.